Hi guys, it's summer, and while we've all been sort of self-isolating or staying away from people and certainly not flying as much as we used to, there has been some travel this summer. Mostly it's been to friends and family's houses where you have to set up remote workshop for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months. So I want to share with you all the top tech accessories that I can't travel without. Hi everybody, my name is Levi Sauerbright. I'm the Nerd Butler, and in my content I talk about tips, tricks, resources, and recommendations for technology that's going to make your life just a little bit better, help you do more with the technology you have, and help you make really smart decisions about the technology you're going to spend your hard-earned money on coming up. So the first travel accessory that I can't travel without is simply a bag. This is my trusty Timbuktu computer backpack. I have traveled the world with this. I use it as an overnighter, as a 3-day weekend bag. I went 2 weeks to Japan with just this bag, including all my tech stuff and all my clothes. So get a bag you really like and stick with it. Let's open her up and see what's left in here, because the way I made this list is by looking in the bag and seeing what things had been in there for at least the last 4 trips. And the first thing is storage for all your doodads. I am a big fan of the BUBM brand, and in really tiny letters, if you look, you can see Be Unique, Be Myself. You gotta have something to keep all this stuff organized. If you just throw it in the bottom of your sack, you're never gonna find the cable you need when you need it. You notice this guy is not the perfect rectangle it was when it was purchased. I have abused these products. I have 3 different sizes of these. I have a couple of the roll-up variety for storing cables and headphone adapters and all kinds of things. They're super rugged, they're super durable. You can abuse them. If you get the zipper closed, it stays closed. There's no overfilling it or anything like that. If you can close it, it will carry your stuff. So let's see what's in here. So let's start with audio. Wireless headphones. I've talked about these in a video before. These are the Aftershokz bone conduction headphones. They sit just in front of your ear, and I love these because I take lots of road trips, and these guys let me listen to my podcast without disturbing everybody else in the car, but I still have my ears open so I can hear road noises or a policeman coming up behind me, or if someone in the car asks me a question, they don't have to tap my shoulder and maybe startle me. To go along with those, I actually have a pair of earplugs. The earplugs are nice when you get where you're going, because if you put the earplugs in, it makes the headphones into really, really good noise canceling headphones because of the way they work together. In addition to the wireless headphones, I always travel with wired headphones. And you're saying, Levi, that looks like a case for computer glasses. And it is, but it is the best way I have found to carry my wired headphones. These are guys I've talked about before as well. They are TaoTronics, and I got them a little tangled, but they're TaoTronics noise canceling earbuds. So the battery pack is right here. You charge that up with the micro USB, you turn it on, pretty good noise canceling. Not as good as something like a Bose Quiet Comfort, but they're really excellent. I like these because I don't like hooking my Bluetooth headphones up to my computer. So if I'm doing any kind of conference calls or watching videos on my computer, these guys are great. I also love these because if the battery dies in the noise canceller, they just work like regular old headphones. So if I forgot to charge something, it's not the end of the world. And of course, because most of our phones don't have headphone ports anymore, I've got my little USB-C to audio adapter. So that's all my audio stuff. And I really think that's the smallest kit I can get that gives me the headphones I need for just about any situation. There's one more thing I have in the audio kit, and that is the iHome Bluetooth speaker. Now, I carry this for a couple of reasons. One, it sounds great. This is a little more than I would usually like to spend on a Bluetooth speaker. I think last time I looked, they run around $55 or $60. But it's ruggedized, it's waterproof. You can use it in the shower, you can set it by the pool and not worry about it. The other reason I take this with me every time is not only can you hook it to your phone, but you can hook it to your laptop too. Laptops all have Bluetooth now, and the speakers on them usually suck. So if you're making a video presentation, or if you want to sit with a couple of friends and watch a movie on your laptop, having something like this paired to your laptop through Bluetooth gives you really pretty decent sound in a package that isn't all that big. All right, moving on. Storage. I always carry at least one USB thumb drive because the USB thumb drive is really easy for moving files from point A to point B. I like to buy a dozen of them. They're pretty cheap on Amazon if you buy them as a pack. And it allows you to leave it behind. This is basically disposable as far as I'm concerned. I always travel with the blank one, and if I need to grab some pictures off of my computer or a movie I just took that I want to leave with a family member because they're not as tech savvy and sharing on Google Photos is going to be tough, I can just load it up on my thumb drive and hand it to them, and that works out really well. I also carry an external hard drive because I want to make backups of my data. Nobody ever thinks their laptop is going to break, but having backups is good. And if you're traveling, you might not have reliable internet to back it up to Google Cloud or Google Drive or Dropbox or something like that. Having an external hard drive gives you some extra storage space. It also gives you a second place to keep all that data you might have been generating while you're on the road. USB hard drives are great. They're rugged. They're not that expensive. And the other advantage is, especially if you have relatives that have older computers, when you plug in a hard drive as opposed to the USB thumb drive, a hard drive is recognized as a different kind of hardware by the computer. And there's no drivers to load. It already knows what to do with a hard drive. So if you plug this into an old computer, it's going to chew for a minute and try and get some drivers loaded before you can use it. Plug in the hard drive, it just shows up as a hard drive. Next is a little bit of an old school thing, but I always travel with a pad and paper. I really like this leather reporter style flip notebook, but I've found that as much as I love using my phone for jotting down notes, for taking pictures of things that I want to remember, there are too many times when somebody just rattles off a phone number to me real fast or tells me an address or he's giving me directions the old-fashioned way by pointing all over the place. It's just easier to have a pad handy to jot some things down. I also use a lot of scratch paper when I'm working on the computer just to write a number down and remember it or do a quick math problem so I don't have to get out of the program I'm in. So I always have my notebook. We got a couple charging cables, USB-C, micro USB, and then I have an adapter for my phone. Now this guy looks a little bigger and bulkier. We saw the other one before, which is just to plug in my headphones. This guy's nice and sleek. This guy's a little fatter, but the advantage of this one is I can plug in my headphones and plug in a charging cord at the same time. So this end goes in the phone, headphones and battery go in this end, and I can charge my phone while I'm using my headphones as well. So that's very handy. Power. Two things I always carry. I've got my laptop charger, but I always carry some kind of little USB brick. This guy's really nice because it has two USB ports in a pretty small package. One of the ports is a standard 1.5 amps, and the other one is a 2.1 amp, which is intended for bigger devices like a tablet or something like that. But it also means it charges your phone faster if you use that one. So always have a couple of extra ports. Your laptop probably has a USB port, but have at least one of these that you can plug some other things into. The second thing I have for power is a giant external battery bank. I love this guy. This one is from RavPower. And let me give you a couple recommendations on battery banks. These things are really useful. They can charge up your phone. They can charge up your camera batteries. If you have sort of a lightweight laptop that doesn't have as much of a power requirement, you can actually charge your laptop up with these. So if you have a Chromebook or maybe a MacBook Air or something like that, you can get the cables that'll let you charge that up. I can plug in two USB-A, old school style USBs, and I can plug in a USB-C as well. So I could be charging 3 devices with this at once. What you want to look for in a battery bank is the milliamp hour rating. This guy is rated at, I believe, 26,000 and change milliamp hours. Now, the phone in your pocket probably has a battery somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 milliamp hours. What that means is if your phone has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, you can charge your phone up more than 5 times from 0 to full with this. It is a beast. It's kind of heavy, takes up a little space in the bag. Totally worth it if you are anywhere that you can't get to power right away. So everything I showed you that needs to be charged up, the speakers, the headphones, all that good stuff, this is the guy that gets it done. This can get me through a lot of days without having to plug into a wall somewhere. A couple more doodads. I always carry a microfiber cloth because you're always trying to wipe off a screen or clean up your laptop a little bit. I've got a phone stand. This was mostly for planes, which I'm not on much anymore, but the phone stand you just set up like that, put it down on the tray table in front of you, or if you're somewhere and you just want to watch a quick video on your phone and not hold it because you're getting carpal tunnel from all of that, phone stand is really handy. There's a couple more adapters in here that I want to show you all that I always, like I said, I always travel with because they solve so many problems in so many different places that you don't think about until you're suddenly stuck. So the first one is a USB-C to USB-A adapter. Why would I carry this? A lot of the newer laptops don't have USB-A ports. And what is USB-A? It's what we think of as a USB port. It's that old school square rectangular USB port. All the new sexy things have USB-C, which is that very small oval shaped one. If you have a laptop that doesn't have a USB-A port on it, like a lot of Chromebooks, like a lot of MacBooks at this point, and you have something like your external hard drive or your USB thumb drive, you cannot plug this into your sexy new computer. You need something like this. I actually got this adapter with my Pixel phone to do a data transfer, but I kept it and I carry it with me everywhere. You should buy one. You can find them on Amazon. It's a USB-A to USB-C adapter. The second adapter I carry, I don't use as much during the pandemic because I don't go into coffee shops. I don't charge up my stuff at airports, but this guy is pretty handy when you are anywhere that has a USB port available for you to charge, but you're not sure if it's trustworthy. It's a little bit more of a tinfoil hat paranoid thing, but all this guy does is sits in between your device and the USB port you're getting power from, and it makes sure that no data can go from your device into that port. It just passes through the power, no data. So if you're the kind of person who worries about getting hacked because you plug your phone into the wrong USB outlet, get one of these. They're cheap. They come in 2 packs. I think I got these for less than $10. You throw it in your bag. It's very handy to have. And if you ever find yourself needing to charge up, but you don't quite trust the place you're at, it works really well. I also, for reasons I don't know, carry an HDMI adapter. This is a big deal if you're doing any kind of conference room setups where the cable might not be long enough. I don't use this as much, but it has saved my life at least twice in a professional sense of being able to set something up and do a presentation when I wouldn't have otherwise, that I make sure it stays in the bag. So those are all the items: audio, power, data storage, charging cables. We've all got those already. Those are all the items that I have traveled with pretty consistently for the last 5 years or so. In the last couple of months, I found one more thing that I want to show you guys that has really, especially in the time of pandemic when I'm going to visit someone and we're all isolating together. We're not going out. I can't go to a coffee shop. I have to set up my workstation where I'm at, and I'm going to be there for a while. And that guy is this. It looks like a tablet. It is not. It is a 15-inch USB-C powered monitor. So there's no battery in it. All it has is a 15-inch screen, and then on the side we've got one HDMI port and 2 USB-C ports. Now, if you have an older computer that doesn't have a USB-C port, or the USB-C port on your computer doesn't output video, so in other words, it's not a Thunderbolt port, you can plug in USB-C for power, and you can plug in the HDMI as to get your second monitor. But with my ThinkPad, it has a Thunderbolt port. It will give me video out of the USB-C, and that is awesome because all I have to do is plug one cord into my laptop and one cord into the side of this, and I have a second 15-inch monitor sitting right next to my laptop on the table. When I'm ready to pack it up, the stand becomes a cover. This guy weighs less than my laptop does, and I really only use lightweight laptops. This thing is about 2 pounds, maybe a little less. It's great. There's no battery to recharge. There's no drivers to install. If your computer can recognize a second monitor, it can recognize this guy, and it gives you so much more workspace. You don't realize how much you're kind of addicted to your dual monitor setup until you don't have it anymore. And being stuck at somebody's house for 2 weeks, visiting with friends, visiting with family, having a really good time, but trying to get some work done in between, not having that second monitor was killing me. So this guy on Amazon, it's a generic brand. I always forget, so I'm gonna look down at the bottom here. Nexigo, and we'll link that up in the description, but I don't advocate this one in particular. There was a whole bunch of them that were in the same price range. They're less than $200. All right. So if you are somebody who is, even in the time of pandemic, a road warrior and traveling from place to place, setting up your mobile workstation, your mobile office, and staying there for a while, second monitor, man, it will change the way you get everything done. If you liked what you saw in this video, be sure to subscribe for more content and share it with a friend you think might be interested. That is the most impactful thing you can do to let me know that you are interested in more tips, tricks, tools, resources, and recommendations on the technology that affects your life every day. Thanks. We'll see you all soon.